I'm Sean Thompson, 27 years old, and right now my occupation is working here at the Occupy Sacramento movement. I was a student, and partway through the semester, when this started up, I joined it, and I felt so strongly for it that I couldn't even concentrate on school anymore. School seemed so insignificant compared to being here, trying to fight for the rights of the American people and the future generations thereof. And it was on my mind so much that I dropped out of school to focus on this full time. Oberman released a report of some police brutality going on in Occupy Wall Street. The next day after he released that is when I saw it, and it was so awful, just watching the way the police were treating peaceful protesters who weren't doing anything. So as soon as I saw that, I said, we need something like that here in Sacramento. And me and my friend, we started looking up if anyone else had an idea for that. When they originally posted to Facebook, I noticed just a week after Occupy Wall Street had started, I really believed in the things they were saying and the things that they stood for, which was trying to fight the inequality between the extreme upper class and the lower and lower middle class. The Occupy Sacramento, they had a initial assembly they were scheduled to do. There was about 250 people there, and they were just from all different walks of life, all different types of people. We all started talking, and some people were like, homelessness is an issue, and some people said unemployment's an issue, and some people said the 1% has too much money and we don't have enough, and we talked about literally several dozen different issues that the individuals were there on behalf of. Amongst all our issues, the one major umbrella issue that covered them all was the fact that the four big banks, which is JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, B of A, and Citicorp, that they all have their monetary chokehold on our politicians, on our congressmen, on our representatives, and they're constantly using their money to sway votes, to push through laws or hold back laws. They're making it so it's helpful to themselves, and the American people are the ones suffering because of it. What we're most trying to accomplish when we get together is we hold general assemblies where everybody in the entire movement and outsiders as well are allowed to come into our general assembly at 5:30 every day. And we talk about major issues that are hindrance to the nation, such as policies from Obama or pre-existing policies or laws that are being considered right now. And we bring up one specific topic at a time, and everybody's allowed to speak on that topic. And at the end, after we've all spoken, everybody's allowed to vote on it. And it's very democratic, down to the very core. It's much more of a democracy than whatever is in America today. And what we talk about is not just the issues, but the solutions that we're trying to come up with. And then once we have a whole series of all these problems and solutions, we're going to be writing up a series of resolutions based on these that we'll propose to the government. Here in Occupy Sacramento, we have gotten a little sidetracked aside from talking about these issues because it's a big problem for us that we're only allowed to be here during daytime hours. We're trying to fight the city so that we can be here overnight, so that we're not wasting all that time and all that man hours, and so that all our people that are here trying to solve the nation's problems aren't just wary of constantly working here rather than helping solve issues here. I've been arrested 3 times. We've had several arrests, probably an average of about 2 to 3 a week, and I was in the very first 3, and that's where I got my little orange bracelet of justice. And after those 3, I realized that I don't want to be like the crazy guy who just keeps getting arrested for this protest, and so I used that experience to stay on the outside now, and I help everyone else who feels so strongly in their resolve that they decide they're going to be arrested for this movement. And so I mentally prepare them. I tell them what jail's like. I tell them what all their legal rights are, and I stay in contact with our ACLU and our legal representatives. It sucks. It's not so bad as the movies may make it seem like, but they treat you pretty poorly as far as just pushing you around and yelling at you, and the police shout obscenities and they shout rude personal comments to people. And when they keep us there, once they've had us in a cell, we're usually there between 8 and 13 hours. And in that time, they never feed us. The only access to water that they give us is a little sink inside the jail cells, and it's so unsanitary inside the jail cells. We have been working peacefully with the police on every basis, on every level. We've had police constantly come up to us and thank us for how peacefully we've been, how peaceful we've been, how accommodating we've been, how we clean up after ourselves, how we've never had an incident here, not at Occupy Sac. He spoke out against us twice, saying that he supports the police and the way that they're stopping us and the arrests that they're doing, and he supports the park ordinance that states that we're only allowed to be here from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m.
When it comes to Sacramento, we have a city ordinance where you can't camp overnight, so I support that folks can go in the park from 5 in the morning till 11 o'clock.
He said that not even knowing who we are exactly or what we do, and I'm sure if he actually knew who we are or what we do, that he would have supported us. But since he spoke out those 2 times, we went to the City Hall meeting, which is Tuesday nights at 6, and we had about 45 to 60 people take their 2-minute speak time and go up and talk to the City Council as well as Mayor Johnson about why we're here, what we're doing. We're trying to explain to them how beneficial we are to the community. And it seems like just the fact that we're asking for our park, that we're asking to be allowed to occupy our park 24 hours, I think the City Council has taken that as a power struggle or a challenge to their power, because they've immediately knee-jerk reacted to saying, no, it's despite the fact that you have the First Amendment right to peacefully assemble and peacefully speak out, we're going to override our little park ordinance and say you can't at night. That they're completely against us, except for, I have to add in, Councilman Cohn and Councilman McCarty. The rest of the council members, including Councilman Ashby and Mayor Johnson, they've come out and they've just been vindictive and argumentative. When they came out, they had a bunch of cameras out here. So to me, it seems like they come out just as a publicity stunt for themselves, and they speak their little silver-tongued political speech, but they don't really hear us, they don't really see us, and they don't really feel like we're out here doing anything important. When the people of a nation, or of a city even, or of any group, when they feel like they're being oppressed in some way, it is absolutely their right to fight back, to feel like they're no longer being oppressed. And that's what's going on in the nation right now. There is a large group of people in this nation that are feeling like they're oppressed, that they're down and they're in a place where they can't get out of. And that really is oppression, and that's not fair, and that's against everything that America seems to have been built on. I took this semester off, and I am considering taking next semester off too, because this is such a powerful movement. But school is so important, and in fact, being out here, one of my main fights is I want to fight for everybody to be educated all the time. Education's the most important thing in a nation. If you don't have an educated nation, then you have a complacent nation, and that's dangerous, because that's when people can become oppressed and nobody cares.
For SacCityExpress.com, this is LT Clayton.